The nebula winds of Sector Valus shimmered like spilled stardust as the diplomatic cruiser Larkspur drifted toward the crimson-lit planet of Noctira. Humans seldom traveled there. Fewer still returned. Noctira was home to one of the galaxy's most mysterious empires. The Sanguine Court, a civilization of vampiric beings rumored to drain not just blood, but energy itself. Aaron Kestrel had spent weeks preparing for this assignment. He was the youngest xenocultural liaison ever appointed by the Terran Union, and he had volunteered without hesitation. "Understanding removes fear," he always said. It was a line his friends mocked, but the galaxy had changed. Old hostilities had to be dissolved, or the stars would burn in endless war. Aaron's confidence dimmed as the ship pierced Noctira's atmosphere. Darkness coated the world like a thick velvet cloak. Towers spiraled upward from the capital city of Umberspire, glass black and sharp, glowing faintly with crimson runes. Everything looked alive, breathing, watching. The landing platform was nearly empty except for several armored guardians whose eyes gleamed like polished rubies. They escorted him silently into the palace, where the air hummed with faint vibrations, as though the entire structure was alive and listening. Aaron was told he would meet only one representative of the Sanguine Court. Not an ambassador, not a council, but a princess. Princess Lyrillith. He had read that she was the youngest daughter of the Eternal Empress. Half myth, half shadow. No image of her existed. She was said to always veil her face. Some whispered it was because she was hideous beyond comprehension. Others believed she was too beautiful. So beautiful she could ensnare the will of any mortal who looked upon her. Aaron didn't believe either rumor. But as he was led into a vast chamber shaped like the inside of an obsidian cathedral, he felt his heartbeat race. She was already there. A slender figure draped in flowing midnight fabrics stood in the room's center. A hood covered her head, a delicate silver mask hiding everything from her eyes down to her chin. Only a small portion of her pale, moonlit skin was visible on her throat and hands, smooth as sculpted ice. "You are the human emissary," she said, her voice soft, almost melodic, yet edged with exhaustion. Aaron bowed respectfully. "Aaron Kestrel." "It is an honor, Princess Lyrillith." She did not move. "Few humans use my full name. They fear what it invokes." He smiled carefully. "Names only have the power we give them." She tilted her head, as though studying him from behind the mask. "And what power do you give mine?" "That of a potential friend," he answered. The silence that followed stretched long enough that Aaron began to wonder if he had offended her. But then, unexpectedly, he heard something like the faintest hint of breathy amusement. "You are unlike the others," she murmured. "Very well. Let us speak of why you came." Their negotiations began stiffly. The Terran Union hoped for a trade alliance. Noctira desired certain star chart privileges. Yet both sides feared exploitation. As hours passed and the artificial lights dimmed to simulate Noctira's night cycle, Aaron found himself more focused on the princess herself. She always kept her distance, always directed her voice slightly away. Whenever he walked closer, she shifted just enough to maintain a barrier, not of fear but of practiced habit. "You avoid being seen," Aaron finally said during one of their breaks. "Is it because of the rumors?" Her fingers twitched. "Rumors are born from fear, and fear shapes empires. But they're not true, are they?" She hesitated. "Truth is not required for fear to flourish." Aaron stepped forward slowly, careful not to intrude. "Lyrillith, may I call you Lyrillith? Whatever your reason, you don't have to hide around me." Her hood lowered slightly, though the mask remained unchanged. Do not make promises you cannot keep, human. If you saw what lies beneath, you would not speak so kindly. He shook his head. I don't judge anyone before I know them. Liralitha's posture stiffened. She turned away, yet he sensed something fragile beneath her composure. You should rest, she whispered. Tomorrow begins again. Midway through the mission, days passed. They worked side by side, sometimes for long stretches without speaking. Other times, Aaron managed to coax hints of personality from her. A dry sense of humor, a surprising fondness for old Terran literature, and an enduring melancholy she tried to hide. He learned that she fed on energy rather than blood, drawing life essence from crystallized conduits her people harvested from the planet's core. He also learned that she was younger than the myths suggested, barely 2 centuries old, practically an adolescent compared to her ancient kin. And more than anything, he learned she was lonely. One evening, as violet lightning crackled across the sky, a normal nocturne weather event, they reviewed documents on a balcony overlooking the abyssal cityscape. The wind tugged at her cloak, and her masked face turned toward the storm as though absorbing its power. Your world is beautiful, Aaron said. Most off-worlders call it terrifying, she replied. It can be both. She seemed to consider that. What of my people? Are they beautiful or terrifying? Both again, he answered gently. Like all people. Liralitha's grip tightened on the balcony railing. And what of me? Aaron blinked. You ask as if you don't know. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I know only what others have told me. That I am cursed. That I am a danger. That I am monstrous. Aaron's chest ached. Who told you that? My own kin, she said, bitterness surfacing for the first time. I was born with unstable energy. They say my face reveals it. They say my eyes glow too brightly. That my presence unsettles others. And you believe them. I have never been given a reason not to. Aaron took a step closer. She did not move away this time. You hide because you're afraid of being rejected, he said softly. But I see you, Liralith, not your mask. And nothing about you is monstrous. Her breath trembled. Aaron, she whispered, if you saw me, truly saw me, you might change your mind. Show me, he said gently. The unmasking the storm quieted, leaving only the whisper of wind between them. Liralith raised her hand slowly, hesitantly, to grasp the edges of her mask. If you recoil, she said, I will remember it for centuries. I won't, Aaron promised. The silver mask loosened. The hood slipped back. And at last her face emerged. Aaron's breath caught, but not in fear. She was stunning, not in a soft or mortal way, but in the way stars were stunning when seen up close. Her features were sharp yet elegant, her skin glowing faintly with an inner luminescence like reflected starlight. Her eyes, yes, they glowed, but beautifully, a swirling mixture of violet and ruby light that seemed to hold galaxies within them. He couldn't find the word. Her voice cracked. Hideous. Beautiful, he finished. Liralith. You are beautiful. The princess froze. A new brightness flickered in her eyes. Shock, hope, disbelief. You mean it. I do. She lowered the mask completely. Her entire posture softened. Centuries of burden loosening in a single moment. No one has ever called me that, she whispered. Not once in my entire life. They were wrong, Aaron said. And then, slowly, timidly, Liralith smiled. A trembling, fragile smile that seemed to light the entire balcony. The crisis the next morning, disaster struck. Terran warships appeared unexpectedly in orbit, having misinterpreted delayed communications. They believed Aaron had gone missing. The sanguine court saw the ships as an invasion. Alarms echoed through Umberspire. Lyrillith grabbed Aaron's hand. "You must leave. If they capture you." "No," he said firmly. "We end this together." She hesitated only a moment before nodding. They raced to the central spire, where she interfaced with the planet's energy core. Aaron transmitted a live message to the Terran fleet, and Lyrillith amplified it through Noctira's atmospheric resonance field. Aaron spoke of peace. Lyrillith spoke of trust. But it was when she removed her mask publicly, a symbolic act never before witnessed, that both sides froze in astonishment and listened. Within hours, the misunderstanding dissolved. The Terran ships withdrew. The sanguine court lowered their defenses. The first treaty between humans and Nocturans was signed that same week. The ending on the day Aaron prepared to depart, Lyrillith walked with him to the landing platform. Her face remained uncovered now. The people no longer averted their eyes. Instead they bowed with respect, not fear. "I will visit again," Aaron promised. "I hope so," she said quietly. "You showed me a world beyond masks. You showed my people I was not a curse." He reached for her hand. She allowed it. "And you," she added almost shyly, "told me I was beautiful." "You are," he said again. "Don't ever hide that." As he boarded the cruiser, Lyrillith's glowing eyes followed him, no longer filled with loneliness but with hope. And for the first time in centuries, the vampire princess felt truly seen and truly free.